All right. The House will come to order. Please join Representative Lynch in the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's Friday, and I'd like to pledge allegiance to the best flag ever. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Gregorio, please call the roll.
Representatives Amabile, Arndt, Bacon, Baisley, Benavidez, Burnett, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Bradfield, Caraveo, Carver, Catlin, Cutter, Doherty, Duran, Escar, Exum, Froelich, Geithner, Gonzalez Gutierrez, Gray, Representative Gray, Representative Gray, Hanks, Herod, Representative Herod is excused. Holtorf, Hooten, Jackson,
Here.
Judah, Kennedy, Kipp, Larson, Representative Larson. Representative Larson is excused. Lontine, Luck, Lynch, McCluskey, McCormick, McKean, McLaughlin,
Good morning.
Michelson Janae, Mullica, Neville, Ortiz, Representative Ortiz is excused. Pelton, Pico,
Aquí.
Ransom, Rich,
Here.
Ricks, Representative Ricks. Representative Ricks is excused. Roberts, Representative Roberts is excused. Sandridge,
Here.
Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Representative Soper. Representative Soper is excused. Sullivan, Tipper, Titone, Valdez A, Valdez D, Van Beber,
Here.
Van Winkle, Weissman, Will, Williams, Woodrow, Woog, Young, Representative Young. Representative Young is excused. And Mr. Speaker.
With 58 present, 7 excused, we have a quorum. Representative Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to say thank you for the honor of presenting the journal, and I think today is the day. Today is the day that the yeas will have it over the nays. So, Mr. Speaker, I move that the journal of Thursday, April 15th, 2021 be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Representative Lynch. And lucky, Representative Lynch, every day that you've done it, the yeas have had it, because we're a good team. We're a good team, Representative Lynch. All right, the motion before us is to approve the journal as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. Aye! That was really good. That was one of the best ayes I've heard this week. All those in oppose say no. Good job, Representative Lynch. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Representative Kipp.
Thank you, members. I have a tribute. For those of you who are joining me in the tribute, could you please join me in the well? Thank you very much. In appreciation of our excellent colleague, Colorado State Representative Jenny Arndt, on the occasion of her last day serving in the Colorado House on the 16th day of April in 2021. Whereas Matt Gray warns,
I think Jenny Arndt is the worst, and not only will not participate, but will attempt to find these nice things you attempt to present to her and set them afire quite publicly.
and whereas we decided to persist nonetheless and wish to remind Representative Arndt that none of this would have happened if she hadn't run for mayor. And whereas Representative Meg Froelich aptly states,
there aren't enough women like Jenny. It won't be the James without her.
whereas Representative E.T. Hooton says,
Jenny is neat and tidy in thought, word, and deed. Less nonsense about ideology and more common sense about what works. Jenny's a critical thinker and listener, empathetic and sympathetic.
and whereas Representative Mark Catlin says,
You better be ready for that. Jeannie Arndt is a small person with a big presence. She's going to leave a big hole in agriculture.
and whereas Representative Lisa Cutter says,
A strong and independent woman, Jenny Arndt has been accountable to no one but her constituents and her conscience during her time at the legislature. Except that she is, of course, in the pocket of the scrap metal industry. And
whereas Representative Susan Lontine says,
Jenny Arndt is all common sense and a kind heart. She is fearless and funny. I am kind of mad at her, though. I get to ag, and she abandons me. Oh, well, our loss at Coleg is Fort Collins' gain. Guess I'll have to go up there and have a PBR with her.
and
Road trip.
Okay, we need to cue that one. And whereas Representative Daphne Michelson-Janae says,
Jenny brought us adventures from CSG trainings to civility in interbody relations to when we should just step back and chill. We learned so much from you, Jenny, our friend and our colleague.
and whereas our caucus co-whips, Representatives Monica Duran and Kyle Mullica, exclaimed in unison,
Jenny, from the block. Now you're mayor on the block.
Don't forget about us little people on your way to the top.
whereas Representative Julie McCluskey says, is Julie McCluskey here? Oh, there she is.
Jenny Arndt is that crazy cool cat under pressure and a rock star legislator, a tenacious, thoughtful, and caring woman.
And whereas Representative Stephen Woodrow says,
Jenny Arndt is a leader and mentor, a fearless legislator who shows what can be accomplished when you're both brilliant and practical.
and whereas Representative Barbara McLaughlin says,
And no one knows water like Jenny knows water.
and whereas Representative Brianna Titone adds,
Jenny is a respected authority on water-related issues, and now I feel that the well is depleted in the legislature with her departure.
And whereas Representative Leslie Herod correctly states, Jenny is proof that firecrackers come in small packages. And whereas Representative Mark Snyder, speaking from personal mayoral experience, added,
Well, we're all saddened to see Jenny leaving a little early, but Fort Collins is getting the best mayor they could have, a truly good person.
and whereas Representative Donald Valdez says,
Madam Chair of Agriculture, Livestock, and Water Committee reminds committee members to speak to the bill. Representative Arndt represents fairness and equality to all wherever she goes. We'll miss you.
and whereas Representative Tracy Burnett expresses,
Thanks to Representative Arndt, I have begun incorporating Jenny's rigorous stair climbing workout into my training regimen. Wish you were staying longer in the legislature so I could learn more from you. Happy trails running the back roads around Fort Collins.
and whereas Mike Wiseman says,
Jenny Arndt has tackled tough subjects with grace, presented complicated subjects with brevity, and lightened our work and our long weeks with her sense of humor.
and whereas, Representative David Ortiz adds,
Gratitude for Representative Arndt's constant service to this nation, state, and her community, from volunteering in the Peace Corps to her work as a state rep and now in her new role as mayor-elect of Fort Collins.
and whereas Representative Alex Valdez says,
I have not forgiven her for moving to get away from me, but I will always miss her walking through the door with her little shoes and her giant backpack.
whereas Representative Mary Young says,
A woman of all the elements, fire, water, air, and earth, grounded and light. A spitfire whose intellect flows. All those elements that she brings to us will be missed.
and whereas Representative Emily Sirota says,
Though members come and go, and that is the nature of the institution, Jenny Arndt has left a lasting impression on those of us she served with and the constituents she represented. She is humble, smart, strong, thoughtful, even-keeled, and funny. And Jenny has shaped me as a legislator, and I will miss her perspective and camaraderie in the General Assembly.
whereas Representative Shannon Byrd added,
Jenny is a leader with boundless courage to fearlessly stand up for what is right and what will be good for the people she represents. She lifts as she rises, working every day to elevate and mentor her colleagues and other leaders.
whereas Representative Dylan Roberts says,
Jenny, you were my first and finest mentor. I know for a fact that I am a better legislator because of you, and we all know that Colorado is a better place because of your work. I will miss you so much around here, but am so thankful that I will forever be able to call you a friend. Congratulations, Madam Mayor.
and whereas Majority Leader Danae Escar says,
To the woman who taught me whiskey's for drinking and water's for fighting. Unless there's PBR, that's for both. From sharing an office space to traveling together with water tours to sharing the position of caucus chair, the past 7 years have been such an amazing experience to share with you, Jenny.
and whereas Minority Leader Hugh McKean, who being a political leader likes to expound, says,
Whereas, Representative Arndt was one of the first people to call and congratulate me when I was elected. That kind of attitude is what has made her such a pain in the ass ever thereafter. She just wouldn't go away. Until now. Really, truly, Fort Collins gets a wonderful mayor. You are one of the only people in this building who has always, unalteringly reached out and said, how can I help? What can we do together? We have fought. A lot. Her little shoes came over to my side, saying it out loud. We have fought, traveled, argued, dined, and most of all, laughed together. She is my dear friend, and even though she will only be a few miles away, it will be a lonelier place here in the house without her. Congratulations. Happy trails. You said don't be a stranger to me. You don't be a stranger here.
and whereas Speaker Alec Garnett says,
We came in together. We've grown together. You always put people before politics and state before party in every decision you ever made in here. You showed us how to do it right. This institution is so dearly going to miss your leadership and your common sense. Fort Collins is so lucky to have you, and I promise we'll call. I'll promise we'll come up and share a beer, and don't hesitate to reach out. We all appreciate your mentorship and your service to the state.
And whereas Representative Kathy Kipp says, Jenny is Jenny. She always follows her conscience, she listens to her constituents, and works for what she believes is right. After knowing and working with Jenny for many years, I was finally able to vote for Jenny, and am thrilled that Representative Jenny Arndt has become Mayor-elect Jenny Arndt. And whereas Senator Pete Lee says,
we all have a height thing in common. My friend and colleague, Jenny, it has been a pleasure and honor to know and work with you. Keep up your good work for the people of Colorado and stay in touch. Go Tigers. And the shoes are the best.
And whereas Senator Sonia Hawkes Lewis says, I will miss seeing Jenny Arndt in those cowboy boots every January for the stock show. I'm thinking Rep Arndt will be the only PhD Dr. Rep in cowboy boots pitching Blue Jeans Day ever in our state capitol. Love her devotion to ag and public service to her community. Love you, Jenny Arndt. And Representative Tipper and baby. Whereas Senator Dominic Moreno says, which one of you is reading?
You've been an ally and a friend since entering the legislature. We're always eager to take on the lost causes and to advocate for average folks having a voice in the legislative process. Fort Collins is so lucky to have you, my friend. We'll always have Spain. Love ya.
And whereas Senator Chris Hansen says,
it's easy to confuse us. Jenny leads with heart, but with a ton of brains to back it up. I feel so fortunate to have had the chance to serve with her and learn from her compassionate style of leadership. I am a better legislator for having watched her example.
And whereas Senator James Coleman says,
Jenny Arndt calls me her bodyguard because she would ask me to walk her to her car for safety if we had late work nights at the Capitol. But knowing Jenny was a black belt in every martial arts practice, walking to her car was actually for my protection. Congrats, Mayor Jenny. And if I could say for my own part, you are fearless, you are honest, and you are straightforward, and I hope to learn from your way of taking no nonsense from anybody. Forgive the grammar.
And whereas former Representative Jonathan Singer exclaims,
Say it, Arndt. So, Rep. Arndt was pivotal in bringing our agriculture and immigrant communities together. She helped affirm the dignity of all immigrants while ensuring safer roads and more stable workforce for our farms and ranches. Thank you. And for me, I just want to say that you are a rock star, fireball, go Jenny.
Okay, whereas former Senator Nancy Todd says, Jenny did Colorado proud as chair of CSG West and left her footprints in the water for the Western region. And whereas former Senator Mike Foote says, Jenny was great to work with, she has solid values, reflects and represents her community perfectly, and is still always willing to hear out the other side. And whereas former Senator Jack Tate says, how much I miss my BFF and my favorite bill co-sponsor, and my deep appreciation for inviting me to join her on some very important policy changes and giving me the courage to make it happen. Jenny will be my friend for the rest of my days, and this friendship is what I remember most looking back at my time in the General Assembly. And whereas former Representative and current Weld County Commissioner Lori Sain, who really desperately wanted us to sneak her onto the WebEx this morning, said, Jenny's great sense of humor sustained me through some long days and nights in the legislature. You don't have to guess what Jenny thinks. Her take on any topic is au naturel, unvarnished and beautiful in its velocity and veracity. And whereas, Representative Will? Former Representative and current Weld County Commissioner Perry Buck says,
I'm going to be Perry Buck. I can't even do the what, but anyway. So Jenny Buck, Jenny Buck, yeah. Perry Buck said, Jenny Arndt was my legislative sister. As a friend, I knew she would always have my back in the legislature, as she knew I'd always have hers. Jenny and I may have been on opposite sides politically, but we had respect and admiration for each other. She is a wonderful legislator and has the talent to do whatever she wants in life. Best wishes, Jenny. That's pretty mushy. So, I won't get really emotional. Yeah. So, but Rep. Arndt, you know, you've done a lot for the people of Colorado and the state of Colorado, and I appreciate that. And now that you're leaving us, just as I was beginning to like you, I wasn't there yet, but I was. Yeah, it's helping. I was getting closer. It sort of helps, but anyway, Godspeed on your new journey as a governor of Fort Collins. And you rock, kid, and I'm going to miss you as the co-chair of the Sportsman's Caucus for sure. And I do want to say this is mushy, but she, and you know, since I've been here and watched her and seen her in action, she is absolutely a top shelf legislator. Thank you.
And whereas former Representative Jim Wilson says, and we have a nice deep voice for Jim Wilson.
Yeah, well, I'm Jim Wilson, but the deep voice is not there today. So here's what Jim says. I was already missing you, Jenny, but trust me, your colleagues will miss your leadership more than you know. You are proof that good things come in small packages. Best of luck running a town instead of a committee.
And whereas the Ag Committee says,
from your Agriculture, Livestock, and Water Committee, thank you for always keeping our feet on healthy soil, steering us through the noxious weeds, protecting us from nuisance invasive species, and for keeping the water flowing and the herd happy and on track. We will miss you.
and therefore, be it resolved that those who currently serve in this chamber and those who have served with her in the past are sad that she is leaving the Colorado House. But keep in mind that Fort Collins is only 60-ish miles up the road and has excellent craft beer and many other inducements, so she should expect plenty of visitors. Love you, Jenny.
You guys ruined my going away speech completely, and this is the exact scenario I was trying to avoid. So I have to say what I wrote down, because I've only written 2 speeches in my whole time down here in almost 7 years. It's usually, as you mentioned, I just say what I think. But sometimes I have to think through things more carefully. So I said, "Dear staff, lobbyists, and fellow electeds, today's the day. Everyone has a day when we leave this wonderful building, and the time comes. And for me, the time is now. When I was in my first term, I watched the tearful goodbyes. See, this is what you've ruined. And listened to the long speeches full of reflection and gratitude on the last day of session for those who were leaving. At that moment, I thought to myself, when I leave, I don't want any of that. I wrote this. This is written. I can put this in the record somewhere. I pledged to myself that night I would try my best instead each day to show gratitude along the way and to say thank you right out loud. I wanted to live every moment and not get caught reflecting back all at once. I hope along the way I have stopped to say thank you, to try to be kind, to be helpful, and to be inclusive, and sometimes to share a joke. And if I failed in that, at least I'm saving y'all a long speech. So I'm not going to go over all these things. I hope I pulled my weight and carried some of the load, not just in policy, but in protecting and nurturing the institution. I don't cry usually, just so you know. And all the wonderful people who come together to create the flash of an instant that we all get to pass through. Individually, we don't leave a mark, but collectively we do. And I'm just so amazed that I was lucky enough to be here for even part of the mosaic of our state. This is what's going to make you laugh. If you are tempted to come down and talk, please don't. And y'all a bunch of weirdos for that. I said, please don't, because I see you, and I hear you, and I appreciate you. And you might make me cry, and then I'd be mad at you. So now you know that I'm actually mad at you all. The institution is strong and resilient. Colorado is in good hands. I trust you, and I'm expecting great things. And now I have to get to work, so hold on for a second. Just a minute, please. Hold on. Thank you.
That was awesome. She's like, what is on his face? We all want to talk. She's like, just tell the mask has a hole in it. Take the prerogative. We all want to do it. You're the only one that can get away with it.
How old is she now? Almost 7.
All right. I want to thank Representative Kipp for organizing that very appropriate tribute. Thank you, Representative Kipp. That was a pretty moving moment. Further announcements and introductions. Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
Honor to serve with you, Representative Catlin.
Thank you. I want to take just a real quick minute. The young lady that we just honored scared me to death when I first got here. I don't know if she's standing around listening, but this tiny Democrat came up to me and said, "Hey, I'll help you." I'd been elected 4 days. I got elected on the 7th, sworn in on the 11th of January. I looked at her and thought, oh, God. I said, okay, yeah, whenever I need help, I'll give you a call. But she kept chasing me down, saying, I can help you, I will help you. Finally, some of the people that had longer horns than I did came up to me and said, she will, she's good for you, she'll help you do ag, she'll help you do those things. But it was kind of with trembling heart and trembling knees, I went back to her and said, yeah, I do need some help. And boom, we became friends that day. Thank you very much, Jenny Arndt. The other thing I wanted to do is say that I'm going to have to be off on the 20th and the 21st because I'll be running for mayor of Dove Creek. Not really. I've got to be at the Colorado River District Board of Directors member, and I've asked for approval to be allowed to leave, and I've been granted that. So thank you.
So approved. Thanks, Representative Catlin. Further announcements and introductions. Seeing none. Majority Leader Eskar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, given the weather and the amount of folks that are online and how long it would take us to get through these thirds, having to call on everyone, we're going to go ahead and proceed I'm going to lay over thirds, but not right now at the end of the calendar, but we're going to proceed out of order and not do thirds today. So sorry for the last minute decision, but we just thought it would be best and most efficient to get through the other work that we need to get on and get y'all back on the road home safely. So with that, I move to proceed out of order for general orders, second reading of bills.
Seeing no objection, we will proceed out of order for consideration of general orders, second reading of bills. Representative Weissman. You have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative Weissman will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request to read a bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read as they are printed and in the bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen up here and on the iPads. If you are using those, bills will be laid over upon the motion of the majority leader. The code rule is very definitely relaxed. With that, Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1100.
House Bill 1100 by Representative Soper and Gonzalez Gutierrez, also Senator Bridges, concerning the ability to file documents electronically with governmental entities.
Rep. Soper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and it's an honor to serve with you.
Likewise, sir.
I move House Bill 1100 and the committee report.
To the Finance Committee report, please.
In Finance Committee, we added a strike below amendment that changed the initial bill into a study. Because what we learned from stakeholding is that there's still a lot of work to be done, and that what really needed to be done is to study what's currently out there as far as accepting documents online at the county level and amongst the state agencies, and to kind of take a tiny step backwards and say, okay, what are we currently doing? What could we do better? And so we adopted the committee report that is now the bill.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on the Finance Committee report? Seeing none, the question is the passage of the Finance Committee report to 1100. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it. The Finance Committee report is passed. To the bill, Madam Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, you heard Representative Soper basically talk about the strike below, which is now the bill. And I am very honored to be able to have joined on this bill with Representative Soper so that we can really see how we can become perhaps more efficient and provide more opportunities for folks to be able to file, documents or apply for perhaps benefits electronically. It'll be very interesting to find out what that will actually look like and what the capacity will be for our state, our local governments to be able to do that. I ask for an aye vote.
Rep. Soper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just to give you a little bit of background, a year ago when we left to stay at home for the a pandemic, the state government continued to operate, and even though workers worked from home, there was still a frustration that certain documents couldn't get to where they needed to go because we didn't have an electronic filing option. So this comes from that, and what we're going to do is look at what it would take to get to 80% across the board, and to see what the legal impediments are, the technological impediments, and then what the costs would be. And then a report will be done by OIT. It will all be included in their current budget, so no additional expenditures. Ask for a yes vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on House Bill 1100? Seeing none, the question is the passage of House Bill 1100. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
Aye. Thank you. No.
The ayes have it. 1100 is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1065 and Senate Bill 153 until Monday, April 19th, as the sponsor is absent today.
All right. Seeing no objection.
Excuse today.
Seeing no objection, House Bill 1065 will be laid over as requested. Senate Bill 153 will also be laid over as requested. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of Senate Bill 135.
Senate Bill 135 by Senators Janal and Zenzinger, also Representatives Duran and Froelich, concerning a prohibition on the use of certain animals in a traveling animal act.
Representative Froelich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
Likewise, Representative.
I move Senate Bill 21-135 and the Agriculture Committee report.
To the committee report from Agriculture. Rep. Froelich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee passed 2 amendments, and we asked for a yes vote.
Rep. Duran.
Just like to say this is a good bill, a lot of work put into it, and we ask for a yes vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on the committee report to 135? Seeing no discussion, the question is the passage of the committee report from Agriculture to Senate Bill 135. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. No. Ayes have it. The committee report is passed. To the bill, Representative Froelich.
Thank you. Good bill. Vote yes.
Thank you. Representative Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good bill. Vote yes.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 135? Seeing none, the question is the passage of Senate Bill 135. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. No. Ayes have it. 135 is passed. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to House Bill 1010.
House Bill 1010 by Representatives Ricks and Gonzalez Gutierrez, also Senator Fields, concerning increasing the diversity of Colorado educators in elementary and secondary public schools.
Representative Ricks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1010 with the appropriations report and the education report.
Thank you. To the Appropriations Committee report.
So the Appropriations Committee met and they appropriated monies to convene a stakeholder engagement to implement this bill.
Thank you. Is there further discussion to the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question is the passage of the Appropriations report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The Appropriations report is passed. To the Education Committee reports. Madam Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, in Education Committee, we did pass an amendment, and this amendment was to ensure that the work group itself was also made up of a diverse group of individuals. I ask for an aye vote on the Education Committee report.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on the Education Committee report? Seeing none, the question is the passage of the Education Committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Ayes have it. The Education report is passed. To the bill. Representative Ricks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So what this bill does is it's going to increase teacher diversity in Colorado, which is a topic that is very important to Colorado teachers and to our students. I want to begin by sharing a few statistics. 52% of students in Colorado consider themselves white, 33% consider themselves Latino, 4.5% consider themselves black, and nearly 4% consider themselves Asian. Contrast to the following teacher statistics. 87% of teachers are white, 8.6% of the teachers are Latino, 1.6% are black, 1.2% are Asian. So why should we be concerned about teacher diversity? A significant body of research strongly suggests that students benefit from having diverse teachers. For example, test scores and college matriculation rates increase, while high school dropout rates and the numbers of suspensions decrease by having diverse teachers teaching diverse students. So Colorado must do a better job of preparing, recruiting, and retaining diverse teachers. An important barrier to a diverse teaching profession is how teachers are being prepared and licensed across teacher preparation programs here in Colorado. This bill would make that process more transparent, and licensing is just one of the barriers, but we also have to prepare, recruit, and retain diverse teachers. We're going to convene a joint work group between the Department of Higher Education and the Department of Public Education to remove any barriers and investigate the barriers and recommend effective strategies to increasing our teaching workforce and make it more diverse. So I ask for your yes vote.
Thank you, Madam Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. It is an honor to be a part of this bill. I know that former Representative Coleman, who's now Senator Coleman, led the charge on this bill before. And I just have to say that as a product of public education myself, and I think a lot of us think about this question or maybe have been asked this question is, you know, when was the first time that you had an educator of color? And for me, that was in 6th grade. And then I think about when was the first time I had a Latino or Latina as my teacher, and that was in 7th grade. And just how much that meant to me to be able to have somebody who reflected my background, to be able to educate me was just incredibly meaningful. And so I'm really excited to be a part of this bill, and I think this will have a huge impact on students, teachers, and just our education system as a whole, and I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on House Bill 1010? Seeing none, the question is the passage of House Bill 1010. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. No. Ayes have it. 1010 is passed. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1122.
House Bill 1122 by Representatives Froelich and Larson, also Senator Kolker, concerning establishing a commission to improve first responder interactions with persons with disabilities.
I'll move the committee. Representative Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
Likewise, sir.
This up a little bit. Members, I move the committee report, the Public Health and Public and Behavioral Health Committee report to HB 1122.
Rep. Larson, can we also get an official motion to the bill and the
yes.
approps report?
I also move House Bill 1122.
Okay, to the Appropriations Committee report.
Oh. So for the Appropriations Committee report, they appropriated money, and it was very efficient, and it was lovely, and please vote yes.
The Appropriations Committee moves quickly, as we know. Are there questions on the or is there, sorry, Rep. Larson, I'm being told we need to get an official motion to the Appropriations Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the Appropriations Committee report to 1122.
Very good. Is there further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question is the passage of the Appropriations report to House Bill 1122. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. A couple of ayes have it. The Appropriations report is passed. To the Public Health and Human Services Committee report. Yes. Representative Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll move that Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee report as well.
Okay, is there further discussion on the public?
Yes, so we made a few amendments in the committee report. We added some law enforcement representation to the board and a few other technical changes. It was unanimously agreed to and the result of stakeholdering, and I ask for a yes vote.
Very good. Is there further discussion on the Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee report? Seeing none, the question is the passage of the committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it. The Public and Human Services Committee report is passed. To the bill 1122, Representative Froelich.
Be recognized. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is awesome to serve with you.
Likewise, Representative Froelich.
We have an amendment. Should we do that now, or
yeah?
While we're working on the amendment.
Hang on, Representative Froelich. I'm going to put us into a.
Oh, we thought it was to the. Okay, so we need to reverse. And
all right. Sorry, Representative Froelich. Please go ahead to the bill.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. We need to amend the Public and Behavioral Health Committee report because literally one letter was left out.
Representative, on the advice of nonpartisan staff, that amendment being technical in nature, it would be permissible to do it on third reading. Having passed the committee report, we have now settled that question, unfortunately. Please go ahead to the bill.
Okay, sorry about that. Mr. Chair and members, this bill is the result of parents coming to us and asking for a path forward for better interactions for their children with disabilities with the police. And so that began a journey that has ended in a collaborative formation of a commission made up of individuals from representing the disability community and law enforcement that we hope will inform training going forward and lead to better outcomes and more harm reduction.
Thank you, Representative Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And yes, as my co-prime said, this was actually a great bill. We got total buy-in by both the law enforcement community and the disability community. It was really great to see people working hand in hand to solve a mutual issue. It has the support of the Fraternal Order of Police, Cross Disability Coalition, a number of other law enforcement agencies, and a great bill, and will hopefully lead to better outcomes for everybody involved. So I ask for a yes vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on House Bill 1122? Seeing none, the question is the passage of House Bill 1122. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it. 1122 is passed. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1128.
House Bill 1128 by Representative Michelson-Janae, also Senator Hansen, concerning the creation of a special license plate for end-of-life care.
Representative Michelson-Janae.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1128 and the Appropriations Committee report.
Thank you. To the committee report.
The Appropriations Committee report cleared the cash fund.
All right. Is there further discussion on the Appropriations report? Seeing none, the question is the passage of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The committee report is passed over the objection of the representative from Castle Rock. To the bill, Representative Michelson-Janae.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This license plate, I was talking with my daughter about it and about why we do things like license plates. And I might be speaking specifically to a representative in the front row, but I don't know. But license plates are a way that our community can get involved with spreading the word about the things that they do. And for this specific license plate, we are talking about hospice. And hospice care is significantly important at the end of life of a loved one, because the end of life can be a scary, frenetic time. Hospice is there to make sure your loved one is comfortable and that you know how to say a proper goodbye. But most people don't know hospice is available to them. This license plate is going to change that. And people will see on the road those people who support hospice, and maybe it'll put it in their mind so they can have a better end of life with their loved one. I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on House Bill 1128? Seeing none, the question is the passage of House Bill 1128. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it. 1128 is passed. Madam Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1219 until Monday, April 19th.
Seeing no objection, upon the request of the Assistant Majority Leader, House Bill 1219 will be laid over. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to Senate Bill 56.
Senate Bill 56 by Senators Holbert and Gonzalez, also Representatives Van Winkle and Gray, concerning expansion of the opportunities to administer medical marijuana at school to a student with a valid medical marijuana recommendation in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Representative, who would like to go first?
I got it.
Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 56. There is no committee report.
Thank you. To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And what this bill does, it aims to give adults in schools exactly what they've been looking for, which is a written doctor's recommendation that essentially includes everything that a prescription does, such as directions, dosage information, timing, things like this. And it also gives Good Samaritan protections to those adults. It's not a forceful thing. It's not a mandate that they must act. But in the event that they do step up to act in a dire situation, a life or death situation, it gives them Good Samaritan protections. The only thing a school really needs to do is figure out how to store this medicine, which should be really exactly like storing all other medicines at a school, such as Ritalin and other things. But for parents, and that's who we're running the bill for, parents and students, for parents, they will no longer live in fear that every time their child goes to school, they will have to decide between their kids getting an education and their kids being safe. It removes that terrible choice and allows all students to get a fair and safe education.
Representative Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This, for parents who use cannabis to treat their children, getting them in and out of public school if it's not authorized by the school is really hard. And feeling safe is really hard for a couple reasons. There are a lot of different conditions in children that cannabis is used to treat, but the most serious ones are seizure conditions. There's a lot of evidence that cannabis is a protector against seizure, and I know that from families in my district. And so what you have to do otherwise is basically wait to hear that your child is having a seizure to get in the car and rush to drive over to intervene yourself because the people there won't do it or are too afraid to do it because of potential liability. And so what we're doing is we're giving parents and students the tools to feel safe, but as Representative Van Winkle mentioned, we're also protecting the school districts and we're protecting the folks who might administer the cannabis. So with that, I'd ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 56? Representative Van Winkle.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, and I just would be remiss if I didn't mention Ben Wan, who is a young man I've gotten to know terrifically over the years. He's a young man that was diagnosed with epilepsy at 3 years old, and after multiple seizures set him back. He actually had to relearn how to walk again because those seizures stole his ability to walk. They also stole his ability to speak, and he had to relearn how to speak again. But after lots of speech therapy, he did learn to speak again. Eventually, he found something called Charlotte's Web, which was a terrific product for him, and he's been seizure-free for 5 years. He's graduated from high school this year, and he's really become a miracle in my life and in lots of people's lives, and of course his parents, Brad and Amber. So I wanted to mention him. He's one of the main reasons why I'm running the bill.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 56? Seeing none, the question is the passage of Senate Bill 56. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 56 is passed. Madam Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over Senate Bill 226 until April 21st.
Okay, seeing no objection, Senate Bill 226 will lay over as requested by the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to Senate Bill 77.
Senate Bill 77 by Senator Gonzalez, also Representatives Benavides and Kipp, concerning the elimination of verification of an individual's lawful presence in the United States as a requirement for individual credentialing.
Representative Kipp.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can I move that the bill, SB 21077, and the committee report for State, Civic, Military, and Veterans Affairs?
Thank you. To the committee report. Madam Speaker Pro Tem.
In the committee, we made a brief, very small technical amendment to clarify that if someone has a Social Security number, that has to be used before alternatives are looked for. And with that, I move the committee report. I urge a yes vote on the committee report.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on the committee report to Senate Bill 77? Seeing none, the question is the passage of the State Affairs Committee report to Senate Bill 77. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Ayes have it. The committee report is passed. To the bill, Representative Madam Speaker Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to the bill. Members, this is a great bill. It puts in place some changes to how we license and certificate people for various occupations. It's a great bill. I urge a yes vote.
Representative Kipp.
This will allow everyone to participate in our economy, and I urge a yes vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 77? Seeing none, the question is the passage of Senate Bill 77. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Senate Bill 77 is passed. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to Senate Bill 144.
Senate Bill 144 by Senators Garcia and Cook, also Representatives Tone and Van Beber, concerning the continuation of the Homeland Security and All Hazards Senior Advisory Committee in connection therewith, implementing the recommendations contained in the 2020 Census Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Thank you, Mr. Gregorio. Representative Tone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
Likewise. Please go ahead.
All right. I move Senate Bill 144.
Seeing no committee reports, please proceed to the bill. Representative.
All right. Senate Bill 144 is a sunset of the Homeland Security and All Hazards Advancement Committee. This was unanimously passed in committee. It just keeps this committee going and actually takes away the provision for this to be sunset again. This is an important area that we need to focus on, and just ask for a yes vote.
Thank you. Representative Van Beber, we see you are joining us virtually today.
Thank you, Chair. This is a good bill. Bottom line is we want to have a safe and secure homeland, and that does require state and local partners to have the capability and the capacity to be able to work together to across all levels of government to ensure that we're all safe. Please vote yes.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 144? Seeing none, the question is the passage of Senate Bill 144. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. 144 is passed. Madam Assistant Majority Leader.
Wow, members, that was amazing. Mr. Chair, I ask that the committee rise and report.
Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
House will come to order. Mr. Gregorio, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Mr. Speaker, Committee of the Whole begs leave to report it is under consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof, makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1010 is amended, House Bill 1100 is amended, House Bill 1122 is amended, House Bill 1128 is amended, passed on second reading in order engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 56, Senate Bill 77 is amended, Senate Bill 135 is amended, Senate Bill 144 passed on second reading in order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1065, 1219, Senate Bill 153 laid over until 419, retaining their place on the calendar. Senate Bill 226 laid over until 421, 2021, and retaining their place on the calendar.
Representative Weissman. You have heard the motion. There's no amendments at the desk. The question before us is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please proceed to vote. Those participating remotely. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Sandridge votes no. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Pico votes no. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Beber, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Van Beber votes no. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Rich votes no. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Hooten, Larson. Representative Larson will be given a $10 fine. And he'll be marked excused. Please close machine. With 39 aye votes, 22 no votes, and 39 aye votes, 22 no votes, 3 excused, and 1 vacant, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. And Representative Larson is back. That brings us to consideration of conference committee reports. Hold on one sec, team. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of the Senate Bill 79.
Senate Bill 79 by Senator Sonnenberg, also Representatives Pelton and Valdez D, concerning the sale of animals for consumption to informed end consumers in a manner that exempts the sale from certain laws.
Representative Pelton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of the first report of the First Conference Committee on Senate Bill 079.
Thank you, Representative Pelton. Would you like to explain what happened in the conference committee?
In the conference committee, the amendment that was put on here in the House was taken off, and so it ended up looking just like it did when it came over here. One of the representatives that wanted the amendment, we were able to come to a negotiation, and so that's how we came up with this committee report.
Thank you, Representative Pelton. And members, please cut down on your conversations and direct your attention to the well. The motion before us is the adoption of the conference committee report on Senate Bill 79. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please proceed to vote. Okay, members who are participating remotely, we are voting on the conference committee report for Senate Bill 79. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Pico votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative Van Beber, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Beber votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Hanks. Okay. Representative Hanks is excused, and that too will be a $10 fine. Please close the machine. With 61 aye votes. Maybe I'm a little tired. Where's my water bottle? With 61 aye votes, no votes, 3 excused, and 1 vacant, the committee report for Senate Bill 79 is adopted. Okay, we have Majority Leader Escar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know if you can see my hand from up there. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 79 as amended by the Conference Committee report.
The motion before us is the repassage of Senate Bill 79 as amended by the Conference Committee report. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Pico votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Bever votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative McCluskey. I do want to say that the fines go to a worthy cause, a party for staff at the end of session. Please close the machine. With 62 aye votes, 0 no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant, Senate Bill 79 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Nice job, Mr. Gregorio. Any co-sponsors? This is like your final call. Representative McLaughlin, Sandridge, co-sponsor. Please close the machine. We are now, if you are following along at home, to consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. This is the first time we're doing this year. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to House Bill 1031.
House Bill 1031 by Representatives Doherty and Woog, also Senators Lee and Gardner, concerning continuing jurisdiction to modify family law orders during the pendency of an appeal.
Did you get all?
Representative Doherty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We move that the House concur on Senate amendments to House Bill 1031.
Would you like to explain the amendments?
Yes, this is a technical amendment.
Technical amendment. Representative Woog, anything further? Seeing none. That's great. The motion before us is to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1031. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Okay, members participating remotely, we are on concurrence to Senate amendments to House Bill 1031. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Sure. Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Pico votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Bever votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Mollica. Uh-oh. Now he is if that's a bottle for the baby,
That's a bottle for the baby.
it's still a $10 fine. Please close the machine. With 62 aye votes, no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant. The House has concurred with Senate amendments to House Bill 1031. Majority Leader Eskar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1031 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1031 as amended. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Beber, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Beber votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes.
For the baby.
And Representative
Pico votes yes.
Pico is a yes. Please close the machine with 62 aye votes, no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant. House Bill 1031 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of the House Bill 1123.
I'll do vague, you do detail.
House Bill 1123 by Representatives Michelson, Janae, and Larson, also Senators Fields and Smallwood, concerning a caps check for a substantiated case of mistreatment of an at-risk adult.
Representative Michelson, Janae.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We move to concur with Senate amendments.
Would you like to describe the Senate
No, I
amendments?
just want them to vote for it and be done.
That's fine.
So this is a legislative audit committee bill, and there was some disagreement between the Department of Human Services and the Colorado Bar Association about language. And it took all the way into the Senate to figure out that language. But they did figure out that language, and that language is...
Indeed.
Representative Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So yes, so we changed the term professional to clarify it to a healthcare provider or a healthcare occupational licensee. We also did some additional clarification over what departments had oversight. So those are the changes.
Great. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1123. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Pico votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Beber, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Beber votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Will? And that's a $3 fine. Representative A. Valdez, please close the machine. 5961 aye votes, 1 no vote, 2 excused, and 1 vacant. Concurrence to Senate amendments to House Bill 1123 are adopted. Majority Leader Eskar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to repass House Bill 1123 as amended.
You have heard the motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1031 the repassage of House Bill 1123 as amended. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Pico votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Bever votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Please close the machine. With 62 aye votes, no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant, House Bill 1123 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please, Representative Judah, co-sponsor. Representative Burnett, co-sponsor. Please close the machine. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of the House Bill 1102.
House Bill 1102 by Representatives Durain and Soper, also Senator Hawkes Lewis, concerning requirements of pet stores that sell certain pet animals.
Representative Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We move that the House concur on Senate amendments to House Bill 1102.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, sometimes the Senate does things that we don't do in the House. Yeah, oftentimes it seems like. But we don't take naps like they do in the Senate. But they did add an amendment in the Senate that Representative Perry Will was starting to add in the House. And they put that on in the Senate. We feel like this is a favorable amendment. It just adds to it. So we now have a good transparency bill for pet stores. So just to remind members what this amendment does is it takes out anything limiting the number of licenses for pet stores in Colorado. So there could be an unlimited number. The numbers could continue to decline as they are naturally doing. So there's nothing in here touching the licenses of pet stores. What's left in this particular bill is all about transparency. It's all about disclosing things like the price, any financing options, the health conditions of the animal, being sure that consumers actually know what they're buying, things that might naturally be hidden is what's included. So the fees, the financing options, health conditions, and that's what's left in this bill. And we would ask members to vote with us in concurrence and then for the bill.
Is there any further discussion on the motion of concurring to Senate amendments to House Bill 1102? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Senate amendments. The adoption of concurrence to the Senate amendments to House Bill 1102. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Pico votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Bever votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Gunn, please close the machine. With 60 aye votes, 2 no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant, concurrence with Senate amendments to House Bill 1102 are adopted. Majority Leader Escar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1102 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1102 as amended. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Sandridge votes no. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Pico votes no. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote? Representative Van Bever votes no. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Rich votes no. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative Ricks. Please close the machine. With 40 aye votes, 22 no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant, House Bill 1102 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Representative Judah, co-sponsor. Representative Burnett, co-sponsor. Please close the machine. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of the House Bill 1047.
House Bill 1047 by Representative Kennedy, also Senator Lee, concerning the drawing of voting districts by county governments.
Representative Kennedy, come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House concur with Senate amendments on House Bill 1047.
Do you want to explain why?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this is the bill that establishes some new standards for how counties that have any number of their commissioners elected by individual districts, talks about how they're to redraw their districts with transparency provisions and clear criteria they must follow. We made a number of accommodations at the request of the counties when we were moving it through the House. And after we passed it through the House, there were still concerns from the counties about the delays in the census data. So I was asked to give them 2 more years to delay redistricting of county districts until 2023. So even though I don't love it, I agreed to do it because I think the counties made a good point that they needed a little bit more time. And I ask for your yes vote.
Thank you, Representative Kennedy. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is concurring with Senate amendments to House Bill 1047. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Pico votes yes. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Van Bever votes yes. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Please close the machine. 55 aye votes, 8 no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant. Senate amendments to House Bill 1047 are adopted. Majority Leader Escar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1047 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1047 as amended. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Sandridge votes no. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
Never.
Okay. Representative Pico votes no. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Van Bever votes no. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Rich votes no. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Please close the machine. With 38 aye votes, 24 no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant, House Bill 1047 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Representative Burnett, co-sponsor. Please close the machine. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1022.
House Bill 1022 by Representative Froelich, also Senator Janal, concerning the protection of parties through the enforcement of proper surrogacy agreements.
Representative Froelich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House concur on Senate amendments to House Bill 1022.
Any further discussion, Representative Froelich? Yep, Representative Froelich.
Happy loving families are made many different ways. I agree with what my Senate colleague says, I guess. Dora Dora asked for a clarifying word, and so I will delight that we concurred.
Yes. Well, Representative Landgraf, former Representative Landgraf would be proud. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is concurring with Senate amendments to House Bill 1022. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Sandridge votes yes. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Pico votes no. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Van Bever votes no. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Rich votes yes. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Representative McCluskey and Tipper. She is actually holding the baby. So only $1. Please close the machine. With 48 aye votes, 14 no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacancy, concurring with Senate amendments to House Bill 1022 are adopted. Majority Leader Esker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1022 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1022 as amended. Is there any further discussion? Oh, and now I feel guilty. All right. I feel bad now. All right. It's as easy as taking money from a baby. All right. My heart is warming, and I won't do it again, Representative Tipper. All right. Question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1022 as amended. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Sandridge, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Sandridge votes no. Representative Judah, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Judah votes yes. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Jackson votes yes. Representative Pico, how do you vote? Oh, we didn't hear you. One more time, Representative Pico.
No.
Representative Pico votes no. Representative Burnett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Burnett votes yes. Representative Van Bever, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Van Bever votes no. Representative Rich, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Rich votes no. Representative McLaughlin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative McLaughlin votes yes. Please close the machine. With 41 aye votes, 21 no votes, 2 excused, and 1 vacant, House Bill 1022 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please, Representative Burnett, co-sponsor. Please close the machine. Majority Leader Esker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to lay over the consideration of Senate amendments to House Bill 1018 until Monday, April 19th.
Seeing no objection, Senate amendments to House Bill 1018 will be laid over until Monday, April 19th. Majority Leader Esker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar until Monday, April 19th.
Seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over until Monday, April 19th. That brings us back to announcements and introductions. Representative Weissman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. This may turn into a weekly tradition I'll do. Down here, half in jest, half not. It's been a long week. Some of us are a little bit worse for wear after a long night. The refrigerator in the other room is also worse for wear. So if you have something in there in the name of a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner or an attempt to grow a new kind of penicillin, please take it home with you before you leave this weekend, or it may be emptied out for the collective good of the order. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Weissman. Representative Michelson-Janae.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee members, listen up. This is a very important announcement and you may not be prepared for it. We are not meeting today. Have a great weekend.
Representative Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is the 456th Friday since my son Alex was murdered, along with Alex Teves and 10 others at the Aurora Theater Massacre on July 20th, 2012. It is also the 14th anniversary of the Virginia Tech shooting that left 33 dead and another 17 injured. With over 30,000 gun deaths per year, every day, several hundred anniversary days of shootings and deaths that didn't get on the front page story treatment that either of those two stories did. Those happen every single day. There are moments of silence going on now. Thoughts and prayers are being sent out as we speak. I acknowledge the pain all those families are feeling. I will continue to stand up and speak out for them, not knowing their stories as they may have known mine. I have much more work to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Sullivan. Representative Will.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
Honor to serve with you, Representative Will.
So today was the first time I've ever been fined.
Oh, no.
Ever.
Did I fine you?
Yes, you did, $3. And I so my request is, since I have the baby, can I get that fine money back?
I guess the question, Representative Will, is have you put the fine money in the jar?
Already did.
Oh, then I think it stays in the jar. But I will remember that for the next fine, and we'll reduce it from there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, yeah. But it's only because you're holding such a beautiful, cute, wonderful baby. Further announcements and introductions. Representative Luck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is Friday. It's a good day to remind you all, and especially those of you who were fined. I believe that I speak for the Speaker as well in saying that you are amazing and loved, worthy and adored, and we can't wait to see you again soon, as well as your money if you were supposed to be fined. Thanks.
I just didn't know that I was having this impact on the institution, and I'll take that into consideration over the weekend. Further announcements and introductions. Seeing none. Thanks to everyone for their work this weekend, or this week. Majority Leader Escar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, thanks, folks. I know it's been a long week. I expected us to be here a little bit longer today, but with the amount of folks actually physically not here for thirds, I wanted to give our Speaker a little bit of a breathing break. So with that, I move that the House stand in recess until later today and hope you all enjoy your weekend. Drive safe.
Seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until later today.